Hey, Neil Rice here with Startup University. I'm a business attorney. I've had the honor of helping many hundreds of people start a new business, avoiding critical mistakes, and starting with confidence. Hey, in this video, I'm back to the whiteboard walking you through this crazy court case going on down in Texas. If you watched the initial video on this, you know the background. I'm going to rehash it in just a moment. And I had said, hey, I'm going to pull out 7 different concepts out of this wild court case going on in Texas that's going to help you understand certain principles about how to start a business well. Last video, we were able to cover the first 2 points I pulled out of this court case, which were you got to know your numbers. And number 2, make sure you get the right insurance. Now, in this video, I'm going to cover the 3rd concept I want to make sure you understand, which is understand the term subrogation and the concept of subrogation. What in the world does that even mean? Well, look, here's the situation. Down in Texas, there's this company called Holt Cat. Holt Cat sells Caterpillar construction equipment, construction vehicles, construction supplies. They hired this guy named John Gross. He actually was promoted to tools and equipment manager. Lo and behold, John and or his wife, according to the court case, allegedly started this company called Mercury Manufacturing. So far, so good, but lo and behold, what happened is, according to the court case, John, as the tools and equipment manager, was approving payment of invoices from Mercury Manufacturing, supposedly selling Holt Cat valuable tools and equipment for their inventory. But in actuality, there was no tools and equipment exchange. It was just money going out of Holt Cat into Mercury Manufacturing, which apparently was run by John Gross's wife, Jacqueline Gross. Well, this is not a good situation. And in fact, there was a $2.6 million loss. Hey, at least they started an LLC. If you watch my videos, you know I don't want you doing any business without starting an LLC first. The problem is it kind of went downhill from there, didn't it? So Holt Cat ended up making a claim to its insurance company, Berkley Insurance Company. By the contractual terms of that insurance policy, Berkley had to pay $2.6 million to Holt Cat to reimburse them for the loss they experienced through John and Jacqueline's shenanigans. So that, you would think, would be the end of the story as it relates to the insurance company. They did what they said they were supposed to do. They paid the claim when it was made. End of story. Not so fast. That's where the concept of subrogation comes in. Before we get there, I want to remind you, I can do my best in these short videos to try and highlight these concepts that I really need you to know before you start your business and grow your business. But really, I want you to check out my course, Startup University, at my website, Start Bold Now, because Startup University is a much more comprehensive resource for you as you look at starting a new business, or if you've recently started a new business, to make sure you understand how to do that well. Now, let's get back to this case. So, Berkley Insurance had to pay $2.6 million to Holt Cat to make them whole for the loss they suffered. You'd think that would be the end of it, but it's not. Berkley Insurance is now suing John Gross. It's actually Mr. Gross's estate. Apparently, he has since passed away. They're suing Mercury Manufacturing LLC itself, the LLC, and they're suing Jacqueline Gross. Apparently, her name is Jacqueline Black now. I think she maybe has been remarried. So Berkley Insurance Company is now suing these 3 people to try to recoup the $2.6 million they had to pay to Holt Cat. Did you even know insurance companies could do that? They can. And the legal concept that gives them the ability to do that is called subrogation. So Berkley Insurance Company actually has a legal right to sue the people they believe, John Gross, Jacqueline Gross, Mercury Manufacturing LLC, the people they believe caused them to have to pay their client, Holt Cat, $2.6 million. So it's not always as clean as Holt Cat made the claim and Berkley has to pay the policy. No. Berkley may choose to try to recoup that policy by suing the people they think are responsible for this mess in the first place. Okay, let's bring this concept that I just showed you of subrogation down home to something that's more applicable to typical small business owners like you and like me. So To give you an example of this, and probably the most common place this actually happens is when a small business actually leases its facility. A lot of times they're leasing a facility that is owned by a landlord, and it may be leasing a small part of a much larger facility. So in order for me to highlight this concept, let's just say that your business leases a part of a larger building. Let's say that some kind of equipment malfunction or something goes wrong in the space that you lease. And in the most dramatic scenario, this causes a fire that engulfs the entire building. Okay, well, that landlord has fire and hazard insurance with a company, maybe with Berkley Insurance Company, but with some insurance company. They're going to submit that claim, and the insurance company is going to have to pay that claim to rebuild that building. Well, that insurance company, like Berkley's doing in this case, might not stop at just paying the claim and eating that cost. They may well come after you or your business to try to recoup the money that they had to pay to your landlord because of the incident that occurred in your part of the building. So they might use this same concept of subrogation to try to make you pay them for what they had to pay your landlord. That's wild. Did you know that could happen? It can. But what I want you to know is when you're entering into a lease agreement for a new space for your business, you actually can negotiate this issue. And there's a clause in the lease agreement that you can insist on called a waiver of subrogation. And that would mean your landlord would be actually waiving the right for their insurance company to do that. So you can actually make this possibility, this possible damaging scenario, you can actually make that go away if you're understanding what subrogation is, and if you negotiate that simple clause. It's actually a little more complicated. I shouldn't call it simple, but negotiate that clause into your lease agreement. Hey, I hope that's helpful for you. And if you're leasing a space, you should be aware of this concept of subrogation. You should get good counsel on it, get good legal counsel to look at your lease. Ask that lawyer, that qualified lawyer, hey, should we be waiving subrogation here in this situation? Let them serve you well in that, take care of that issue for you. Hey, I've been able to cover this issue of subrogation in quite a concept. Isn't this a mess down in Texas? This is like for us, and as we're trying to learn things, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. I'm only through 3 of the 7 concepts that I want to highlight out of this case. But that's all I can do in this video. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next. Meantime, listen, if you're getting value out of this, I would love to introduce you to my course, Startup University. You can go to startboldnow.com to check it out. I think it's going to help you go from timidity and uncertainty to confident, bold action as you start your business. I want to clear the brush for you of the legal and the insurance and the tax and the bookkeeping, all those issues. I want to clear the brush, get you confident so you can focus on what you do best to make this world a better place. Remember, there is life-changing power in a good business. You've got this. I'm right here with you. Let's go.